I have with me this morning the National Publicity Secretary of the Opposition People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. You're very welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Ajuri. Good morning, and good morning, Nigerians.
So the much-anticipated presidential primary is now right there tomorrow in Port Harcourt. Can you just give us a sense of what the feeling in your party is ahead of the primary?
Well, the People's Democratic Party is a beehive as I speak because our members are excited, our members are welcoming the Congress, and as I speak with you, many members are on their way to Port Harcourt where everybody will be, starting from today. Some have arrived even yesterday. And we work with the National Working Committee, the organ that is responsible for the day-to-day activities of the party, is prepared for a national convention that will be free, that will be fair, that will be credible, that will be acceptable, that will be transparent, and that all members of our party will accept. And we believe that at the end of that convention, that candidate that is going to come out of the convention will defeat President Muhammadu Buhari.
You've said yesterday in a press conference that, in your opinion, or in your view, you have some facts on hand that would indicate that apparently, according to you, the ruling All Progressives Congress is working to stop your convention. Where did that allegation come from, and what informs that?
The People's Democratic Party holds that we have verifiable facts at our disposal, showing clearly that the All Progressives Congress and the federal government are plotting to scuttle our national convention. But I must assure you, Ajuri, and to you assure Nigerians, the plot will not succeed. We are determined to go into the convention and come out with a very credible candidate.
By what means?
By the means?
By what means are you making this? By what means would they be able to do that?
Information available to us show that they are plotting with some members of the party to get a court to stop the convention. Information available to us show that they are plotting with some members of the committee to cause disaffection, to cause crisis at the convention. But for us as a party, as I speak with you, all our aspirants last night entered into a memorandum of understanding, agreeing to accept the outcome of the national convention because they have seen through the processes put in place by the National Working Committee, and they are very satisfied. And they know that there is no plot anywhere to undermine any of the aspirants.
No, but according to some of the aspirants running for the presidency under your party's platform, they say that there are some issues arising. They've taken a look at the delegates list. I understand that within the last 3 or 4 days, each of the presidential aspirants were given a delegates list, and upon scrutiny, they found that there was a bit of lacuna in some of the states. They noted Lagos State, they noted Borno State, they noted, I believe, even Kano State, if I'm not mistaken. So in view of some of the issues that are now arising, from your candidates, is there no cause for concern that this could be a means by which litigation could potentially threaten your convention?
I honestly do not know when this information was made available to you. But we rose from a meeting at about 10 or 11 p.m. last night, and the issues were discussed, and they also agreed and signed a memorandum of understanding. The lacuna we are speaking about, for instance, we had a dissolution in Kano State. Some people believe that the dissolution was total, and as such, like the local government chairman in Kano State, were not included on the delegates list, but that has been finalized. It has been made clear that the dissolution was not to the ward level. So, and as such, chairman elected on the platform of the party from Kano State are part of and the list was brought. Yesterday, the list had been updated as at last night, and all the presidential aspirants have the list.
So the High Court emanating from the Kano State High Court restraining the party from moving against the State Executive Committee that was in place under the watch of the former Minister Ibrahim and Governor Ibrahim Shekarau. Is that now being honored, or is it still being disregarded by your party?
Ibrahim Shekarau is not a member of our party.
No, I understand that, but the membership of the State Executive Committee under his watch, many of those members are still in place fighting this issue in court, even though he has defected.
No, let me tell you, the ad hoc committee constituted to take charge of Kano is in charge. There's no argument about that one, because we are talking about Shekara. Shekara is a member of the APC.
But that court order has not been vacated, and those members of that state exco are still members of your party. So
as I speak, and I honestly say this, I'm not aware of any court verdict. I didn't confer with the legal advisor. I'm not aware about that. But I do know that the issue of Kano was resolved, and all the delegates that are supposed, that are expected to be at the convention will be at the convention.
Do you have any concerns at all that on the basis of this reality concerning the litigation that is ongoing, restraining your party from moving against these executive committees of the Kano Exco, that any delegates that emerge from the ad hoc committee that you've mentioned may be potentially nullified, which potentially could threaten the legitimacy of the convention after the fact?
If there is any state or any local government where there are contentious issues with legal implication, I can assure you that the party will exit such delegates from participating in the process of our national convention. We are going into the national convention as one family, as one united, indivisible political party. And we are going to allow crisis being sponsored from the APC and its federal government to come and disrupt our activities. We are going to allow that.
You have a similar situation playing out in Borno, the PDP state chapter of Borno State, essentially a delegates list being made available by the legally recognized state executive committee of the party in Borno State. Of course, that has been disregarded by the national leadership of your party, and it's not recognized. They have brought a delegates list from Borno that is not in line with the one that is from the legally recognized EXCO. What could that mean in terms of any legal ramifications as well for the convention?
Well, like I just said to you, any state and any local government that has issues bordering on legality will not participate. And that's one of the decisions that was reached last night. I want to assure you, and to assure Nigerians, that this convention is a family affair. And we are going to come out of it very, very strong, united, and that our candidate that we are going to bring out will be such that will defeat President Muhammadu Buhari.
Now, I want you to add a bit of flesh to the allegation you've made in terms of the purported disruption to the convention tomorrow in Port Harcourt. What is it that you've based your allegation on in terms of any physical disruption of the process?
Oh, Ajuri, you just mentioned the issue of court processes.
No, I'm talking about something different now.
No,
I'm not talking about the legal aspect.
It's holistic.
Okay.
It's holistic. You just mentioned the issue of expected delegates from certain states, and even calling the name of somebody who's no longer a member of our party, and saying that delegates that he brought into office. We have several cases where we have seen the hands of the ruling party and its government being the sponsor of those who come and cause disaffection at a national convention. But I must give you an assurance, and through you also assure Nigerians, it will fail. This convention in Port Harcourt is already a success.
Now, the agreement that was agreed to last night by the presidential aspirants, can we begin to assume that agreement is based on the precondition that the party primary, presidential primary, is free, fair, and credible?
Those are the appropriate words. Our national convention and the processes that we have put in motion, for instance, asking presidential aspirants to nominate 2 of their faithfuls into the accreditation committee, asking the presidential aspirants to nominate 2 of their faithfuls into the electoral committee. The process is transparent. And when all the aspirants read through, the agreement, they were satisfied, and they all signed one document agreeing to comply with the processes that have been put in.
Some people have looked at kind of the electoral mathematics internally, and they've said, well, look, when you have the massive block of delegates coming from the South states and the Southeast states as the holders of, obviously, the government houses, predominantly for the party, that indeed once each of the aspirants take their respective states, for example, Gombe for Dankwambo, Kano potentially for Kwankwaso, that it's ultimately going to be decided by this block of governors in your party as to who will carry the flag. Is that a legitimate assessment, the right assessment of the permutation? Do you believe that it will just simply go the way of the governors?
Bookmakers make all manner of permutations, but reality will determine what will happen. As we speak, we have the number of governors that we have is lower than the number of states without governors. And the states without governors also have their own delegates. And because of credibility, the party took over the responsibility of providing accommodation to states that have no governors. So what we'll do is that we'll give the addresses of the hotel where these delegates are accommodated and give them to all the aspirants. So we have provided a very level playing field for all the aspirants. And the aspirants by themselves are satisfied with the process which the party has put in place. But don't forget, Ajuri, there's a huge disformation in the air sponsored by the ruling government to cause disaffection in our party. And that is why we are warning, we are calling on Nigerians and the international community that they should look at what the government is doing.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, you're fortunate this morning that we've run out of time, because I have several questions I would like to ask you on that note, but unfortunately we are out of time. And I want to thank you for coming on this morning, and also to wish you luck ahead of tomorrow's
Thank you very
convention.
much, Ajuri. I promise that it will be the best convention.